Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include: construction is underway in the replacement of Smalls Island Bridge. Incinerator site is being prepared. I spoke with Union President Ron Cooper. Elementary School Science Fair. Town Council report, and more. So please stay tuned. Residents of Smalls Island have had a bit of adjusting to do this past week. Work got underway this past week on the removal of Smalls Island Bridge. Residents of the island have their vehicles scattered throughout the surrounding area. It is inconvenient at present, but when the new bridge is completed, they will have a bridge that they'll feel more secure crossing. I spoke with Union President Ron Cooper regarding the latest news at our plant. Ron, I understand that when the plant workers went to work on Friday morning, that instead of going to work, they all met in the cafeteria. Can you tell us why they met in the cafeteria?
That's right, Dave. All the workers Friday morning proceeded to the cafeteria when they went in. And I guess it all stems from last week, Thursday evening. Our local executive had a meeting with George Collier and the local management there, and we were informed at that time that they're going to be on out the #1 cutting line. They're going to install a grading system, a grading machine in the receiving shed to grade the redfish into small, medium, and large size fillets, and that they're going to install 2 Bader 153 cutting machines. And all the redfish that's going to be coming into the plant, once they get those machines in place, that they're going to be cutting all the fish that they can handle. They said the only way they would use their end cutters for redfish is if there's a percentage that those cutting machines can't handle. And I think it's something like 10% of the redfish that those machines can't handle. The rest, I think it's 110 inches and over 15 that they can't do. So very little fish do we get under 10 or over 15.
Okay, that's for the redfish. That's mostly what the plant is producing, those redfish.
That's right.
So what happened to the Russian cod quota?
The Russian fish, that's being done in cancel. I think they've had 4 or 5 loads of it come in. But, we've approached management and asked if we could have some of this down there. I talked to Bill Berry Friday morning, and he told me that we just don't have room to do it in Virgil at this time. It concerned me because last fall when we asked them how they were going to do the redfish or the frozen at sea fish, I mean, no problem. We're going to put in lobster tanks and we'll put it in the old mill plant. But the plant's the same size today as it was last fall. They haven't shrunk up, so I don't know why they're not doing. I don't think they've put a big enough effort into doing the frozen at sea fish.
So do you think Mr. Barry is living up to his commitments to Virgil?
No, definitely not. He's not living up to his commitments. If it goes through what they're talking about now, putting in those machines, I think right now we got 78 trimmers when we're, on day shift. We got 78 trimmers on day shift, and they work pretty well all the time. When the cutters are working, they transfers them back cutting. When it gets to 2 cutting machines there, I think it's 2, possibly 3 trimmers to 1 machine. So if they get 2 machines going, they could need a half a dozen trimmers. So when we get on redfish alone, we're gonna be down to about 25% of our production workers working, and Bellberry's commitment to the town of Burgeo and to the workers on that plant, that he would maintain a full workforce for the minimum of 8 months a year. And he's definitely not doing that.
So what do you plan to do with
We've
these fish?
wrote a letter to Bellberry and requested to come into Burgeo and have a meeting with the plant workers and with the union executive and possibly with the town if possible. We are asking the people of Burgeo, and we're asking our town council to support us in our fight to keep those machines out as long as possible and let the workers come before machines. I don't want to see Bellberry come into Burgeo and this be a ghost town with 100 or 150 people working on that plant up there, and he going out with a fat pocket. And if that's what he meant by a good deal for Burgeo last fall, and I don't think that's a good deal for Burgeo. I'm very disappointed, and I hope that the people and the town council is going to give us their support.
Okay, Ron, thanks for talking to us. We'd like to congratulate you. I understand that on Sunday you were elected for your 4th term as president of the union of Burgeo.
That's right, Dave. Thank you very much.
Parsons Trucking went to work on the preparation of the incinerator site this past week. Phase 1 site preparation is presently in full swing. The rocks are being drilled to be blasted, the site is being leveled, and the brush is being cut. The elementary school played host to a science fair on Friday afternoon. There were all sorts of different projects. We managed to sneak a peek at a few of them. spoke with Vice President of BBS, Mr. Blaine Marks, regarding BBS's upcoming telethon. Mr. Marks, as Vice President of BBS, could you give us a little information on the upcoming telethon?
Well, Dave, like I said, as you're aware, the first telethon for BBS was held in 1983. The purpose for that at the time was to get equipment for the studio. And of course, since that time, the equipment has become outdated, and a lot of it has outlived its usefulness. It's starting to give us all kinds of problems. So we felt it was time to probably have another telethon and upgrade the equipment. What we're looking at right now is a new camcorder for the studio, which is badly needed. The present one has been down a number of times. It's cost in excess of $1,100 over the last year to have it repaired, and it's got to be sent out again now. So we feel it's time to try to get some funding to upgrade the equipment.
Okay, I understand that throughout the telethon you will be giving out various prizes. Can you tell us what sort of prizes?
Throughout the telethon, each hour, there will be a selected period of time. People calling in during that period of time making pledges of $5 or more. Their name will go in a draw for a 3 months cable. Their cable service will be free for a month. And also at the end of the telethon, for everyone who pledges $20 or more, their name will go in a draw for a converter. So there'll be someone winning a converter at the end of the telethon. Also, I think there'll be other draws throughout the telethon for other items.
Okay, BBS has spent a large amount of money over the past year also in stringing new cable and stuff to improve the system. Approximately how much have they spent?
In the past year, for stringing the new cable and the equipment that's associated with that, that's due to the telephone company putting in new poles and that. It's cost approximately about $12,000 to change that over. And of course, BBS is a non-profit company, so we have to operate on a balanced budget. And of course, any extras like we're looking at now for new equipment, and that would have to come out of our budget. And right now, we can't afford it, so that's why we came up with a telethon. Hopefully, we'll raise enough money to, get the equipment that's needed.
This telethon is scheduled to begin with a $1,000 bingo. Could you fill us in a little on how the bingo is going to operate?
Well, we thought it would be a good way to start the telethon with a $1,000 bingo. We got the Pathfinders selling cards. They're also available here and in a number of stores around town. And I would urge everyone to pick up bingo cards and support our cause. We think it's a worthwhile cause, and this studio back in '83 when we started the telethon, or when BBS started, I wasn't involved in it at that time. There were a lot of people that sort of didn't know if that would work, but I think our company has come a long way, and as a matter of fact, we're probably one of the model cable companies around the province now. With there's not many around that's got as much community programming as BBS has. So I would urge everyone to buy the bingo cards and support our telethon. We're looking forward to lots of support.
Okay, we'll be on the air next week from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. and we hope during that time that we will get a pledge from you. Thank you, Blaine.
Thank you.
Community events. The Fire Department TV Bingo was won by Barb Durnford, Ruth Warren, and Joan Pink. The fire department wishes to thank everyone who supported them. The RCSCC Bob Bartlett Sea Cadets will be having a TV bingo on Wednesday, April 24th. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5. Cards are available from any Sea Cadet member or in some stores around town. Please support the Sea Cadets and play TV bingo. The Provincial Public Library has decided to hold an annual readathon. The reason for having a readathon is to promote libraries and the ideals of reading. The idea is to have a one day a year when every library across the island invites people of their community to come and read, aloud or silently, so that there is always someone reading in the library that day. April 24th, 1991 has been chosen as our reading day. To keep with the Newfoundland theme, we have come up with a name for our readathon. We are calling it a book scarf. Just as a scarf means everyone eats lots and lots of food, we want everyone to read lots and lots of books. Everyone in town is invited to attend. Read a book, a magazine, read aloud or to yourself, or just to listen to someone else read. Don't forget, April 24th. The Anglican Church Vestry is having an odds and ends sale sometime in May. Please save any used clothes, household items, footwear, books, toys, games, or anything of value for this sale. Now over to Mr. Collier with the Town Council report.
Good evening and welcome once again to another Town Council report. The following issues and items were discussed at a recent council meeting. Attending the last council meeting was a representative from a local lounge who expressed opinions concerning the possibility of the new fire hall obtaining a private club liquor license. Many issues were raised during this discussion, focusing around mostly what fundraising projects this building can be used for. Because this is a town-owned building, restrictions governing its use for various fundraising projects have to be determined by the council. The town cannot compete with private enterprise. A committee comprising of both town councillors and members of the fire department will be organized shortly to draft a set of bylaws governing the use of the new fire hall. It is hoped that a satisfactory agreement can be reached whereby the fire department can still carry on their normal projects and activities while continuing to raise funds for their organization and at the same time not be in any contravention with local private business. In the absence of town manager, due to illness, the town clerk presented a town office report. Mr. Coster informed council that he had been talking to Mr. Walter Milley, personal assistant to Honorable Dave Gilbert, a few days ago. However, there is nothing further to report concerning the proposed paving of the Burgeo Highway or the upgrading as well. According to Mr. Milley, they are still awaiting to hear from Ottawa. Regarding the paving projects around town, no capital work projects have yet been released. This is expected to be done within the next 2 weeks. Council is still awaiting the arrival of Mr. Don Matthews, engineer with the Department of Transportation, to finalize engineering plans for this paving project. A cost estimate is to be done by the town manager regarding the correcting of the water problem at the RCMP duplex on School Road. The town is optimistic that the Department of Public Works will be responsible for this correction. A telephone call from Honorable Roger Simmons' office confirmed this. By now, most of you, and definitely all of Smalls Island residents, are aware that Lundrigans have arrived in town and have begun work on the Smalls Island Bridge project. The town fully realizes the inconvenience that residents will experience over the next several months during the construction phase. We are asking for your full support and cooperation during this period. And while everyone has a natural curiosity as to what might be happening, please advise all children to maintain a safe distance from the actual construction. Council has been informed that arrangements are being made for the delivery of oil and groceries and also garbage collection, etc., to be as convenient as possible. While such services may be somewhat disrupted or irregular during this interim period, we hope you will understand it is necessary until the project is completed. Also, Parsons Construction have begun Phase 1 of the Incinerator project, that being the preparation of the access road and the site. Hospital engineers for the new health center were in town for a couple of days, doing some site work including test pits, surveys, etc., in the area next to the site of the proposed senior center. This is the location the engineers have deemed most suitable site for the new hospital. They are expected back in town within a month with some preliminary drawings for the new building. Correspondence. A letter from the Honorable Chris Decker confirmed government's commitment to construct a new hospital at Burgeo was read by the town clerk. It described the proposed new facility and also the fact that once the old hospital is no longer functioning, the property reverts back to the Department of Public Works, who decides what will become of it. A draft brochure for Sandbanks Provincial Park was also received and presented to Council. While Council felt the information written was adequate, we expressed our disappointment at its cover design. We felt that the beaches are indeed the park's greatest asset and should certainly be featured as such. The proposed cover illustrates a hill with some swampy area and trees. Council plans to send a postcard or similar brochure advertising the park's fine beaches, hoping the Department of Tourism will use same in its brochures if the printing deadline has not already passed for the upcoming park season. A letter from the Department of Municipal Affairs regarding improvements to the town water system was also read by Town Clerk S. Kosser. It stated that all capital improvements and expansions are the town's responsibilities, but in the case of a major break, would offer some financial assistance. They felt that to make the recommended improvements, including removal of organic material, installation of water meter at chlorination plant, other engineering and related work would amount to approximately $125,000, and suggested the town borrow the funding for such projects. Council did not make any decision regarding this item at the time. A letter from Seabrook Pontiac to set up a car dealership presently using Dalton's property was also read to Council. Council also approved in principle the establishment of a ski trail in the Fox Farm area as proposed by the St. John Central High Ski Club. We wish them well in their efforts to establish same. Building Committee Report. Permission was given to 2 individuals to construct sheds on their property. Permission was granted to 2 individuals to construct extensions to their existing houses. Permission was granted to a lounge owner to convert his business to a duplex apartment, subject to fire commissioner's approval. Permission was granted to 2 individuals to occupy a parcel of land for the purpose of parking large freight trucks, plus the possibility of constructing storage space on the same site sometime in the future. Permission was also granted to an individual to lease a business while continuing to operate it as a convenience store. An application from an individual to construct a convenience store had to be rejected because of both zoning regulations and also insufficient space available. The request for the same piece of land was rejected on several occasions in the past due to these same reasons. Well, it seems winter is hopefully over, and once again everyone is looking forward to summer. With the snow practically all gone, everything starts to look dirty this time of the year. While it is still a bit early to declare town cleanup, the town clerk advises that before any old car wrecks can be dismantled or scrapped, permission has to be given first. Sometime during the next month, the town will be declaring an official cleanup. Well, that's it for another council report. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, good night.
Well, that's it for this week. Please stay tuned now for our Newfie Night Bandwagon. We hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed filming it. Don't forget to tune in next week for 8 full hours of programming. and please support our telethon. Next Sunday night, you could be $1,000 richer, so get your bingo cards. On behalf of BBS and the BBS volunteers, I'm Dave Cooper. Have a great week. Good night.